I'm with Professor John Hamman, and he is the Dean of Mathematics and Statistics at Montgomery College and the 2012 Maryland Professor of the Year. Thanks, Professor Hamman, for giving us a couple of minutes today. Today's episode of Campus Conversations is about the achievement gap. But seeing as you have spent so many years in the classroom as a successful professor, we wanted to get your take on what the student experience is like here at Montgomery College, and that in turn is going to help us kind of identify how we're going to attempt to close the achievement gap. So let's just start with that question right there. What in your experience have you seen as the student experience here at Montgomery College?
So let me start with what happened last semester in spring 2013 when I was co-teaching a course with Dean Kathy McCallion. And we were teaching the lowest developmental math class that we have here at the college. And the students coming into that class have, like a lot of our classes, a very wide background. Mm-hmm. Some of them come in and are on task and ready to go, and others are far behind. It would be nice if everyone came in, with the same backgrounds, but these backgrounds are pretty far apart. Yep. And so our goal is to try to make sure that we can get them to the same endpoint. And so in particular this semester we had students that came in, some of whom were back from the military and had other issues going on there. Some had health issues that were going on, as well as very different math preparation backgrounds. So the important thing was being able to try to work with them individually and understand that their backgrounds really are different. And I can't wish that away or just wish that things were different, but deal with the students that we actually have. For me, it was really important to make sure that we had equal standards for everybody, that we didn't make the bar too high, mm-hmm. but yet we gave everyone the support to be able to reach those bars. So in this particular class, we had an 80% rate that we said you have to get 80% on these tests to keep moving on. But the important thing is for those students who weren't able to reach that 80%, mm-hmm. we didn't just leave them behind or let them fend for themselves. We worked with them individually with additional hours and giving them the support they needed so that they could eventually reach that mastery level.
And that is sort of a microcosm of what Montgomery College is. I just saw a study this morning that we are the 10th most diverse community college in the nation. So now you have folks who have different family issues, financial issues, and they have kids that just come out of high school and are jumping right into the classroom without missing a beat. But you have to mix all those together into one learning experience. So that's got to be a challenge all over Montgomery College.
Yeah, certainly not limited to developmental courses, right. or limited to the math program. And so in all of the classes, I think it's really important that you get to know the students individually. There's no way to kind of group students together and expect that you can know their individual experiences. And I think that's one of the things that we do very well here. We have reasonable class sizes, we have faculty that care about their classes, and that one-on-one interaction is what's going to make the difference. I don't think that we're going to be able to have large programs to
Sure.
really affect individual students. It really has to be one faculty member with one student and making that difference.
Talk a little bit about the math class that you sort of reinvented. You got rid of lectures. You sort of turned it upside down a little bit. Is that part of your strategy in reaching students, maybe in a little bit of a different way?
Absolutely, and I think that reinvention of how we have redesigned our math class is really helpful in trying to close this gap. The big thing that comes out of that is that we have clear and equal expectations for all students. Everyone has to do the same mastery, and either my overt or hidden biases mm-hmm. can't really affect that, right? They're computer graded, and they have to get to that 80% level in order to make it to the next part of the course. In that course in particular, I want to point out just a little bit of numbers.
Mm-hmm. You're a numbers guy, so let's hear them.
So I have my cheat sheet here, but for the difference between black students and white students, mm-hmm. when they come in needing developmental math, there's a 23% difference between the number of white students that need this and the number of black students that need this. But if we look within 2 years at that same group who have actually completed the college level math, that difference goes to just a mere 8%.
Oh, wow.
Right? So that's a 65% drop in those 2 years in that difference.
Wow.
With Hispanic students, that difference is even greater. Right? When they come in, there's a 28% difference between where the white students and the Hispanic students score in terms of needing developmental. But by the end of 2 years, when I look at how many have passed the college level mathematics, we're down to a 6% difference. And so that's a 78% change that we've made in that gap. What's important to me about this is that we're really seeing a difference, right? When they come in here, we're holding everyone to that same standard, we're helping students get to that high level, and we're having students that are successful.
That's excellent. And you sort of answered my final question. We have about 30 seconds here, but you are still a professor, you always will be a professor, but now you're the dean. What do you see as the students' future here at Montgomery College? And again, we're not going to close the achievement gap in this interview or in this show, but what do you see as something up ahead in the future?
Well, so I think the awareness of it is huge, right? And the college has been doing a very good job about getting that message out so that individual faculty can really start to notice this and make sure they're not leaving someone behind. Okay. We have work to do on making sure that we get students a higher rate of them passing, but that achievement gap, we've got work to do, but we're making progress, and I'm very, very proud of how we're doing.
Very good. Well, Professor Hamman, thanks again for giving us a few minutes, a very insightful conversation.